Coaching is an empowerment building process. It's about building capacity. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we are fanning the flame, that we're giving it some oxygen. So that makes me think, Spark to Scale Challenge, right? One of the fun things I've had fun with this summer is doing the 5-day challenge, which we had a lot of people jump into it. It's an on-demand challenge, so you can take it at any time. But it really is moving from spark of idea into something that you can scale and sustain. And I think as we think about business in 2025 or beyond, right, we continue to hear so much noise, right? So back to empathy, have empathy with self and really think about what is it that you want to be focusing on, right? Because as diffuse energy is one thing, as I know and live every day, but if we can harness that and really make sure that we have moments where we can be in laser-like precision, it just makes projects and work and relationships and business flow.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the 6 factors. Although I'm not a team coach, I've done a lot of the programming with Potentials Realized, and the 6 factors often, for me, from my experiences, it's actually a doorway. Like you can use it as a tool, as a doorway to actually spark, right? Yeah. So when we're thinking about that spark, help me, Jen, with the languaging, spark, flex, scale.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Britton, and welcome to the Coaching Money Podcast. I've been on a mission for the last 20 years to expand the coaching conversation to many. Along with my co-host, Evana, we're going to be exploring coaching as it relates to conversations, connection, and change in both personal and professional settings. Coaching Money is about creating empowering and thought-provoking spaces for conversation which strengthen relationships and enhance results. Throughout the Coaching Money podcast, we'll share tools, practices, and approaches to support you in your conversations, one dialogue at a time. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We are finally together and we get to record today's podcast episode. I'm so excited. I want to look at you, Evana, and say hi, but Evana is back in Canada for a few weeks. We've had a chance to see each other, and today we're bringing the Coaching Money podcast to you live together.
It is so great to be here with you. It's also surreal because we do all of our work, whether it be for the podcast or for Potentials Realized, is all virtual. And so to be doing this today with you is an honor, but also, it's shaking things up a little bit.
Absolutely. And that's what we thought we'd do. We'd shake things up. And instead of talking just group coaching today, we're going to talk about business development and growing your business so that you can be operating from wherever in the world if that is what you want. Or maybe you want to stay in one place and grow your empire. So Evana and I are probably, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're probably going to want to look at each other. We may do that. But it's just really wonderful when you can actually see people in person. So where do you want to kick us off? What's top of mind? We've got some of our creative tools in front of us. I would love to just actually roll the dice.
Let's do it.
You want to pick the color today? We've got green, we've got yellow, we've got red, we've got blue, we've got purple.
Ooh, let's go with purple.
Purple. Okay. So these are the Reconnecting Workspaces dice. For those listening, you're probably like, what? What is she talking about? But I know you've been using these a little bit in your work. Talk about how you've been bringing these in while I start to shake the dice.
Sure. So in the work that I do, whether it be one-on-one or groups, it's actually something that I often will do like an icebreaker just to bring people into the room and just like allowing 3 dice, and whether we experiment with all 3, maybe doing a journal reflection and then a debrief in pairs and then coming back together, or even having someone just pick one rolled and just, share what's top of heart, top of mind as it relates to what we're talking about today.
So I'll give you the card,
okay,
and you can actually let us know what we have rolled.
Sure.
We have got number 6, which is
the 6 factors.
And what day is that?
That is day 42.
Day 42. So for those that are like interested in that, this I could look at as neuroscience, but I think it's actually networking.
Let me see.
What is it?
This looks like it's the beliefs. It's number 36, beliefs and habits.
Is it?
Is that right?
Or flip it over. I think it's actually on the next. It's ongoing learning. There we go.
Okay, I stay good. Ongoing learning, day 51.
Day 51, and then we've got empathy. So day 47,
Is
empathy, a little bit of a heart, yay, and the conversation. So I guess that's interesting, right? Ongoing learning, empathy, and the 6 factors.
Yeah. So if we think about this in terms of business development, business growth, even if you're working with your own groups and teams, how might the combination of these three fit to opening up the session?
Yep.
Or for us, how this opens up the conversation today around business development, scaling, acceleration,
And being successful,
and
whatever
being
successful means. And, what I'm sort of struck by is on empathy, it's 2 speech bubbles. It's the heart and it's also the conversation, as you can see. So
Yeah.
to me, we really want you to connect with your vision. I think that's always a really key part of business success. What is your vision? What do you want success to look like from not only the head, but also the heart and maybe the gut? What is your gut saying as well?
Yeah. And I think for me, when I think of empathy, it's also because to grow your business, to put yourself out there, there's a lot of vulnerability, there's a lot of courage. And so, what does empathy look like for you as you embark on this journey of maybe it's starting a new group coaching program, a new, putting yourself out there for corporate engagements, for team coaching? What does that look like? Because I think empathy starts with us. And it does require some heart connection, but it also requires some thought, some organization, so we can take that leap.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you bring in sort of the team realm. And for those that are doing team coaching, this is where our 6 factors come in. Really, they are the 6 elements that, regardless of the space, whether you're in the office, out of the office, hybrid, whether you are all human or AI human, these are the elements that need to be really dialed in through conversation, right? Back to empathy and through conversation so that as a team, you can keep on learning. And I think it's interesting. And of course, ongoing learning has rolled off the table, which is a little metaphorically interesting, but it is something that, how are you continuing to learn? And what are you continuing to do to grow your skills as well? So,
and what comes to mind when you said it rolled off the table is like sometimes we think we have to continue to do learning, and we do.
yes.
And sometimes, especially in the group coaching conversation, even with team coaching with these 6 factors, right? It's about actually connecting with empathy with our participants, with our teams, and allowing them to actually spark that conversation through our skills. So as much as ongoing learning is necessary, and please don't hear that I'm saying it's not, also part of that ongoing learning is throwing yourself in the ring, starting those conversations, whether it be in a team coaching engagement, a group coaching, or just even to get the momentum to get those started.
Yeah. And I think, to what you just said, Evana, it's not just about us, right? How are we stepping back to give it oxygen? How are we equipping with the team with the 6 factors so they can be having the conversations throughout, right?
Yeah.
Coaching is an empowerment building process. It's about building capacity. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we are fanning the flame, that we're giving it some oxygen. So that makes me think Spark to Scale Challenge, right? One of the fun things I've had fun with this summer is doing the 5-day challenge, which we had a lot of people jump into it. It's an on-demand challenge, so you can take it at any time. But it really is moving from spark of idea into something that you can scale and sustain. And I think as we think about business in 2025 or beyond, right, we continue to hear so much noise, right? So back to empathy, have empathy with self and really think about what is it that you want to be focusing on, right? Because as diffuse energy is one thing, as I know and live every day, but if we can harness that and really make sure that we have moments where we can be in laser-like precision, it just makes projects and work and relationships and business flow.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the 6 factors. Although I'm not a team coach, I've done a lot of the programming with Potentials Realized. And the 6 factors often, for me, from my experiences, it's actually a doorway. Like you can use it as a tool, as a doorway to actually spark, right? Yeah. So when we're thinking about that spark, help me, Jen, with the languaging, spark, flex,
Yep.
scale. right? Like that spark can be those conversations that you're already hearing in your rooms, whether it be one-on-one with leaders who are team leaders, or even in team engaging conversations. And so that can be, I would encourage you to think about what are you hearing? What is actually in the marketplace?
Yeah.
Not necessarily only in AI, but what are you hearing? What are you reading? What is actually happening? Because that can be that first step in the spark.
Yes. And as we move from spark into actually giving it some shape, we got to get into the flow, right? Like, what are you noticing about energy? I think you put it on the table already, is what is capturing your attention? What is around you, right? That is where we create from. It's not up here usually. It's really from the energy of the environment that we're part of. So what are you noticing? Especially if you're moving into a new season or a new quarter, look around. Who are you in dialogue with? What are their needs today, right now? Because I think a lot of coaches, what I hear is they get very frustrated in business development. They've heard, I need to do this, I need to do that. Yes, and you need to do what you're really good at. If you're not good at whatever you're doing, it's not going to be sustainable. And it doesn't matter how much you push and push. Like, we've got to get into that flow, which comes from the spark. And within that flow, work and life and business becomes easy, right? It's what we're doing as coaches, helping our clients find the flow. And we've got to find the flow as well.
Even with what you're saying, like, I'm not going to bring the word strengths in to talk about strengths per se, but even in that flow state, like, a podcast works for me because I love to talk, and I love to talk with someone.
Yeah.
Right. So for me to be writing, you're a writer, Jen. And so you have great flex in various things. But I think one of the things when we're thinking about that flex is, like, where are we strong? What actually wants to flow through us?
Yeah.
But also then doing that consistently. Like, it's not enough. So you and I think we're on episode 35. I think when we're recording this, like, we have met consistently every week. Sometimes we take a pause, but it's every week, because I think that is part of the flow. I know when you and I don't record for a few weeks, my flow drops.
Yeah.
So whatever that looks like for you, whatever that sounds like, if you like to speak and you want to get on speaking like circuits, or if you want to be doing LinkedIn articles, that series, whatever that is, find your flow, find your medium, but also always in the back of your mind, where are your people? I'm going to share this because this is where I'm in the real game of this right now in Italy. I'm trying to find my flow in navigating this English coaching conversation. I've built some pretty solid IP, some things that I'm grounding in, but I'm trying to find my flow to see, where can I immerse myself? Is it in the business circle? Is it in the personal circle? Where is that? And I think like I am right now, you need to connect to what you enjoy, because that's part of flow.
Yeah. It's part of sustainable flow, right? Like, and we hear this, and I meet so many coaches who have been disillusioned, disappointed, because I've heard of the person who has gone from 1 to 1,000,000. I've done 6 figures, 7 figures in like 30 days. I'd really like to meet those people, right? This business has been and I would never have the balls, and I'll say it's that term, but I would never have the gumption to think, oh, we're naturally going to do it, right? Because that takes a lot. And it takes a lot, as you said, to find the flow, but it also takes the persistence. And I think, again, what are you doing to build those habits so that you are getting better at whatever you do? Business doesn't emerge overnight. It's through the consistent behaviors. It's through the consistent practices. Like, we meet usually on a Tuesday. For next meeting on a Sunday afternoon with the sunshine outside. But that is something that we've committed to. So what are you committed to? What are you committed to doing in this next 3 months, 6 months, year, consistently? Whatever consistency means for you.
Can I throw a curveball in here, if I may?
Yeah.
Because I think part of consistency, part of that also means being flexible. And I know you talk a lot about that, and I don't know where this fits in this conversation, but
flow, flex, scale. So there has to be flex in the middle, right? You can,
there we go, right?
You have to be agile. You have to be agile,
right?
It's not.
And I think, yeah, especially in 2025 and where we are, the world is in like flux.
Yeah, it is.
The coaching industry, in my humble opinion, is in flux.
It is.
We're seeing it. And so this is something that I'm going to say I've had to really check in with my ego, because my ego's saying, but you have been doing this and you got to be doing this. But you know what? Like we said earlier, it's those conversations. What are you hearing? What are you actually wanting to jump on board with? And sometimes that does require flex. That does require pivot. That does require a curveball. And it requires one of your favorite words, experimentation, allowing yourself to experiment.
Well, you know, what's interesting, and so when Evana came over, I said, let's do an episode today on business development. And many of you have a copy of Coaching Business Builder, right? This has been out now for 7 years. Hard to believe. I always wish that I had like not so much gray hair as I did. But it really is, you know, for people who have done this, this is going to help you do that flex as you go, right? Because we can be so in our business. And I actually brought down a copy from my office of Plan, Do, Track, which is very similar in terms of the tools. But one of the favorite tools that people have been using over the years is the monthly daily tracker. And I think what's important about that is it gives us a visual. And I'm trying to find one that I've actually completed, because I usually I would actually take these and do them on my desk in a separate folder. So I don't have a visual, but even having an opportunity to check in at the end of the month, what was working, what was not working, what are the opportunities, what are the obstacles, and what is that key learning? That's just one of 6 buckets in a 30-minute review sprint. So what are you doing to do your planning, right? Even though the world is changing and is flexing, I think now means that we need to take even more time to have these moments to really think about where we want to go. And what's ironic and interesting is I turned to February 2020. You'll notice the little lighthouse here. As Evana and I were coming in here today, I drive past a lighthouse every day, right? And it wouldn't have known that. I've written down here, lighthouse, fire, who is my future self. It looks like car. I don't know, which is like what I'm in all the time. Maybe car, air, water, right? Focus, magnify, messaging, alignment, partnership. That's 5 years ago. Still is relevant today. Absolutely. Focus, magnify, messaging, alignment, partnership. You know, I do once in a while go back and look at these, probably not as much as I could. What I was getting a lot out of, which is really the spark for the Reconnecting Workspaces dice, was using Rory story cubes in those days. And then this was a year before even 90-Day Guide for Success was born, which created the 90 icons, which ultimately became the Reconnecting Workspaces dice. So like a lot of coaches and thought leaders will say, oh, your ideas have breadcrumbs. Yes, and there is going to be something that you can look at and see after the fact. So really encouragement as a business owner. What are you tracking? How are you noting it? Maybe you don't want to be analog, but I would say, you know, I have a lot of stuff that lives in my laptops that I can't always find it, as Evana will attest to. So, you know, that's why I am still very paper rich. And yes, I was a tree planter from the age of 18 to 22. Every day I would plant 1,000 trees. So that is my justification for being a writer of paper-based items.
And I think the undertone, I think you said it, but just to kind of state it very clearly, is when we are wanting to scale, when we have these ideas, there does need to be some type of tracking, right? Because time is the most precious asset we have. And so we want to be intentional.
Completely. Intentionality.
Right? Intentionality.
Stepping on that one right now.
Literally and figuratively, you know, but you want to be thinking about that because you want to be putting your time and your attention to things that will yield the fruits that you want. And these are great resources. We'll put the links. When I was in Coaching Business Builder, I was gifted one of these, and I have mine bound because I was in Italy, but I also have it that I can print these out on a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, to be able to get some momentum, but also it's like a self-accountability.
It is. And I would just put a little plug, right? You can get your PDF version. So you can get the book, right? If you like that, or you do the PDF version. I'm just flipping forward to May 2020. Flowers seeded months ago are flourishing. It's all about the varied pathways of remote work. Keep it hydrated, keep it healthy. Garden is, oh, garden is in will be lots of production. Anyways, I don't know. I can't read my handwriting, but what I was going for actually was this book. So this is the 90-day guide for success, which for some of you, you might want the daily spark, right? There are weekly themes, there are weekly opportunities and daily opportunities to look at the so what and now what of each of these items. So what's the so what of, ongoing learning? Now, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Right? It's not just enough to sort of look at it.
Yeah. What's that next step?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. What's that next step? Because we all are here to make a difference. We're all here to make an impact. Right. And in order to do that, it does take action. And I think this is one of the biggest blessings I have in having you in my circle is you are a mover and a shaker. And I love awareness and I love to reflect and I love to think about intentionality, but without action,
there is nothing.
And without tracking those actions to even know what is working,
yeah,
what is not working, it makes it really difficult. So we've got a handful of resources here.
Yes.
And I'm going to bring in another resource, if I may, of your community.
Yeah.
I just touched on it. You are part of my community. Yes. I meet with different coaching professionals weekly. It's an accountability circle. Right. So what does that look like for you? Because especially as solopreneurs, right? Like we are so in the world of other, but we also need to fill our own cup.
Yeah. And I think that's where empathy comes in, right? We have to be gentle with ourselves. You're probably listening to this going, oh, great. Now I have to add community on. I have to add on these daily things. Like I don't even have time to do A, B, or C. And as we're recording this is the Labor Day weekend. I have done one move. Tomorrow I move my son. I'm in the middle of a 3-day writing project. I have to remember to breathe and have empathy with self as well, because we can't do it all. There has to be a trade-off some days. But in the long-term tail of the trajectory of your business, what are you doing to fuel yourself? What are you doing to fill yourself? And what are you doing to fill the business as well?
So let's say those 3 again, Jen.
Yep. Flow, flex, scale.
So we've talked about so many different parts of things that could fit into all those 3. And my recommendation, because we're already all in overwhelm, is we've had different ideas. Pick one.
Yes.
Pick one for each. Right. I love the dice. Why? Because to me, it's creative and I get to interpret whatever that is. And then I can apply flow, flex, scale.
Yeah.
So don't think that you have to do it all, but you do need to have something to anchor you.
Yeah. And I would say, I'm going to add the next 3 words, right? Plan, do, track, right? I have really noticed in the trajectory of this business that the times that I take to have 15 minutes at the beginning of the week to just really review what are the top 3, what are the top 5 things that I need, that the business needs, that my clients need, right? Because it's not just about us. It's not just about the business. It really is at the end of the day about our clients. And so how are we planning to that? How are we executing to that? Is it written down on our phone, in our calendar, in a separate book, in a notebook, to just help us stay focused? Because in the span of 5 days, there's a lot of things happen, but are the things getting done, right? And that's why it's planning, it's doing, and it's tracking. Yeah. And then it's revising, right? We've got to revise as we go. And that's part of the flex. It was interesting. I think I was sharing with Evana, and I may have been sharing with the listeners a few weeks ago, but like I have been walking around with that book for 5 years now, right? And using the principles, using the 9 catalysts in our Coaching Biz Growth Lab, in the Amplify program. These are things that you've probably heard me talk about, but we can't remember 9 things, right? We just can't remember 9 things. And so as part of a writing project last month, I was like, how do I rework this? And really through some creative brainstorming, it came to the simplified version: flow, flex, scale. Just like plan, do, track, trust, safety, connection. We can all remember 3 things. Yeah. So as you go about your day, what are the 3 things that you want to do this week? And where might you need to pivot, right? It could have been flow pivot scale, but I think pivot takes us back to 2020. I don't know if we all want to go back to 2020. Flex to me, a little fresher, a little better.
Beautiful.
Love it. So closing, what do we want to do? What other tools do we have around?
Do we want to do, let's do different dice.
Different dice? Okay.
Different dice.
So
yeah.
pull the blue ones.
Want me to pull the blue?
Yeah, pull the blue ones. You got to sort of just unwrap those. I could also go off camera and grab the fun box.
Whatever you want.
Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. And then you roll the dice. You got a mic on, and I'll be right back. I can hear you do it. It's easy.
Always an adventure. All right, there we go. So I'm going to actually do these left to right because I believe that there might be a sequence to these.
Left to right. I like that.
Yeah, they went.
Ooh. Oh, these are good. Okay. So the first one is focus.
You. Yeah.
You. Focus on you. And hopefully you get that, right? We've been talking about don't just think about others, think about you.
So I think these dice are really the reinforcing of the conversation today. Day 2, you. Then we have here, context. Day number 12. Do you want to say anything more about that?
I would just say, and we said it earlier, what is happening in your environment? What is that? And to the flow, right? Like flow flex, what needs to change within the context?
Yeah.
And our third one is, drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Looks like it's that one here.
Yes. Systems. And to me, based on what we're talking about, is that plan, do, track.
Yeah.
How are we tracking the execution that we're taking on, that we've taken?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
so
systems. Love it.
Which is you similar to empathy.
Yes.
Right. Then we had
learning,
which is maybe more around context. What is the context of your learning, right?
Totally.
Your environment, listening to what's in the conversations. And then lastly, systems, which could be ongoing learning, but just more in terms of that systematization of what's happening. Love it.
So I'm going to bring my sparkly box, which has been a new addition this summer. And I think what this gets more into 2 things, because I know how much you love the charm.
Yeah.
Let's bring out a couple of charms. And many of you have inquired, where are these available? Through our website, of course. You either get them in a flat pack, or this is actually a magnetized one that you can put on your fridge or whatever. Would you like to do the honors, Evana, since you're the guest?
Sure, thank you.
Yes, at my house. Have fun. Let's see what comes out.
There's one.
Oh, it's a candy cane. Santa's coming.
I've never seen these.
But that's the ones.
Yeah.
So these are like not the originals. These are a new edition. We've got and people can't see that. So we've got the starfish.
A starfish.
And
are we doing 3?
Yeah, let's do 3. We're always doing 3. The third one is
a kitty cat.
Oh, that is so cute. Is it a kitty cat or a squirrel? Oh, it's a kitty cat.
Kitty cat.
So what does that mean to you? The starfish, the candy cane, and Miss Kitty.
Yeah. Holiday celebration for me.
Ooh, yeah.
The candy cane is about the sweetness, the celebration.
Mm.
What about you? What is the starfish mean for you?
Starfish is like, it takes me to the sea, right? It's like a living, breathing 5-point scale. And actually the candy cane, my son went to Santa's Village Day Camp. He was their poster child when he was about 6 years old. So there's a really cute photo of him. But if you have our Conversation Sparker cards, you would be familiar with the candy cane water fountains, which still exist. Yes, they're water fountains. Yes. And just a few months ago, we were doing a run. It's called the Color Run. And it's sort of based on Pagua, which is an Indian celebration of color. It's usually done in the spring. I don't have my mic on, so hopefully you can hear me. It's done in the spring. And with Pagua, they throw colors all over you, which was really fun. So there we go.
And then third, the cat.
The cat. What does Miss Kitty mean? I call her Miss Kitty because she looks like Miss Kitty.
For me, it speaks around, I just think of even like the independence of a cat. So really like having that will, like knowing who you are, standing for what you believe in and going for it.
Love it. Love it.
Going for it.
So should we do one more? Because I know you like the journaling sparker card. And I'll get you to randomly pull one.
Okay.
And today's card is?
Today's card is this one.
And
should we let them see first before? The theme this month is.
So what's your theme this month?
Well, it's apropos. It's really around business development.
There we go.
That's what my theme for this coming month is.
Well, I would say it's September as we're recording this, almost September. So to me, that's back to business. Yeah. Back to business.
Back to business.
Back to routine.
Yeah.
Back to winter routine, which isn't quite as fun. But you know what? When you can do plan, do track, and you have people around you for a few days, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that we could do this in
Me
person.
too.
For those that didn't get to watch this, please, I think do it because it's you'll see both of us in one room, which is really always nice in today's world. So you can find the Coaching Menu podcast over at our YouTube channel, Effective Group Coach. You'll see the Coaching Menu podcast playlist. Please listen back, right? We have recorded these so that they're not just appropriate for group and team coaches. Anyone who wants, I think, to do better, to live into their possibility, you'll find this of interest because everyone these days is having conversations, whether you're a leader, whether you're a parent. I know you like to talk about
around
the kitchen table. It's everyone needs coaching skills. So we hope that you continue to enjoy these episodes.
Ciao for now.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.